Well, the hardest thing I found was just keeping organized. That's always been my issue in writing, but especially with this, because the topic kind of bounces around to like different ideas and methods of like grading worker productivity, and then especially with such like a long essay, that was just what I was concerned about mainly.
Okay, so like I mentioned before, we're going to be working on outlining starting next
Yeah.
week. But and this is for everybody, there are different ways to structure an essay. You can do obviously like a chronological order, which probably won't work for yours. But if somebody's talking about the evolution of something or the chain of events that lead to something, a chronological order can be really helpful. For yours, it might be cause effect, where you're looking at what are some different things that go on that yield good results when it comes to worker productivity.
Yeah.
You can also just some other structural organizational plans that you can have would be so there's the chronology, there's the cause effect. You can also have the order of importance, and typically you use your most important point. You save it for last, for the big kapow at the end. You can also have comparison and contrast where you kind of ping pong back and forth. But it sounds to me like maybe cause and effect might be one. We can work on that next week. What other questions do you have?
Do you want us putting like visuals in here, like graphs and stuff like that?
If they're useful.
Okay.
If you think the reader could use them to understand what you're trying to communicate, then absolutely.
Right.
And you can do those one of two ways, just in general terms. You can have them embedded within the text, kind of like you did in your professional writing course, probably, if you use visuals for that one proposal that you did, the proposal project.
Yeah.
You do that. Or you can do it as an appendix, where all the visuals and things are at the end.
Okay.
So, but again, we can talk about it when you start really getting your writing going and see what works best. What other questions do you have?
I think that's it.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, all right, you're easy. All right, who wants to go next? Thank you. Okay, so Jake, you're writing about the stock market. I'm really excited. I'm going to learn how to make millions of dollars after I read your paper, right? Maybe. Okay, so, but are you looking specifically at the modernization of accessibility of the stock market through apps like Coinbase and Robinhood? Is that?
Yeah, pretty, like the technology around like the stock market.
Okay. All right. So what questions do you have at this point as you get ready to start writing?
I think, I don't know, I might be like going too many different ways with like, I don't know, I want to add a lot, but I don't know if it's like going to be too much.
Okay. Well, at this point, I would say it's good to have too much, because you can kind of determine what you find most interesting as you continue researching. So, but if ultimately what you want is a pretty clear pathway that you're trying to, so if your interest is in, well, you tell me, what do you find most compelling at this point?
I'd say either like how accessible getting stocks has become over like the past couple of years, or how AI technology is affecting.
Okay, I think, because for me, that's your money right there. That's
AI.
just the accessibility issue. Yeah, and how, because that's for your audience, who is your peers. That's going to be the most interesting thing, is what are some pathways I can get into the stock market without having to go through a broker or a trader? How can I do this myself? What are some ways that I can get into this and maybe make a little money? So I think that's I'm glad that that's what you're most interested in, because I think, what do you guys think? Do you think that's interesting to you guys? Accessibility? And Grant's not sure. He's like,
Yeah. Well, I read his thing, and I just made a comment about how it's not necessarily always a good thing. It has a lot of negative downsides as well.
accessibility.
And you open up the stock market too.
Okay.
Anyone and everybody.
Yeah.
Like, because then you get into pump and dump issues, and then people just straight up losing money because a lot of people don't have no idea even how to invest.
Okay, so is that something you might be interested in exploring, the downsides of accessibility? Because that would keep it from,
Be good to.
yeah, because that
Show
would
both
keep
sides.
it, exactly, because that's going to keep it from being an argument of, oh, it's accessible, everybody can do the stock market. Yeah. All right, what other questions do you have?
That was really good. I think everything's going like good. So,
Yeah?
yeah.
Okay, good, good. All right, who's next? We made eye contact. You ready? Okay.